I'm Gary.
I'm Dory.
Yeah, she is. So this is the second part of a cliffhanger several weeks later to you people. So it's
more beer because I forgot the rest of my name.
Shiny breath of fresh
Breast?
audio.
Shiny breasts.
I'm a fan of those. So, and see, you'll notice the cliffhanger episode had a little different sound to it because it's been a while since we did this and I forgot to set the shit. So it's coming in the microphones and now that's okay. Much better now. See, I always say the best for last. So we were in the middle of things. So we just been in Texas for my trip in and amongst all the rehearsals and all the shit. Oh, and in between, so I had one weekend from having gone to Texas to one weekend at home, which I had to install solar panels on our roof because I've been doing that.
Good times.
Right. And there's a tax credit thing, electrical, blah, blah, blah. People love the shit. And had to be done. So I was working on that and very little downtime with the sweetie. So
that could be tough.
It was taking its toll on our general household happiness, but which accounts for my recent retirement from the theater. So let me say that again.
He's just rubbing that shit in like he's been on Broadway for 50 years. You know, he's like fucking Bette Midler is like stepping down from Hello, Dolly.
Doing the same thing over and over. You'd have no idea.
Oh my God. And you called me a right coast elitist because I like the food better. And you're like, I retired from theater.
Get back to crawling into buildings like the common man.
Which you should make a coffee table book on the pictures you find when you're under there. Or you take when you're under there.
I've been working at OSU lately and...
Ooh, that's haunted, you know.
Yeah, well, it should be. It hasn't been. It's been a pain in my ass, and I haven't found any cool shit lately because of less crawling, which is probably good, better for the health. Anyway, moving on. So had one weekend at home working on house projects. Next weekend we go to LA
for the
wedding of a certain Dr. Mike and Joleen. So we may have some crossover listeners. Anyone who's here from the inimitable Sandra D. Sanchez's change of address feed. So if you were a listener of Return to Sender, you would know what I was talking about. But if you were not, the explanation that follows will make a little more sense. So early days of podcasts in general, Mrs. E turns me on to Return to Sender, where I start listening, fall in love immediately with the dulcet tones of Michael Michaels and Sandra D. Sanchez. They had great chemistry, great banter, great comedy, but the real talent of the show was, of course, Sandra.
Hey.
And so Mike became a dick and he burned the show down.
Wow, so not holding back.
No,
you just went right there. You went right there.
Very self-evident. Had he been an adult and said, look, I want to spend more time with my family or my other hobbies and don't want to do this anymore, that's one thing, but he just yanked the rug right out from under her.
See,
and all the listeners. I mean, they had a following.
Hundreds of thousands.
A community of people that really cared about them, and he just told everybody fuck off.
Well, see, we made the agreement, you and I made agreement that, like you said, if you ever want to stop or I want to whatever.
Right.
Neither one of us would be mad.
You have to burn it down, so you're the dick. So
No. Neither one of us would be mad, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
I think we just pick it up and do it by ourselves.
Right.
It's kind of like auditory masturbation.
Right.
Wow, that's a good term.
A new kind.
That is a good...
It is.
Wow. Jot that
second
best
kind.
Master.
So as Sandra proceeded, well, actually, no, previous to that, during Return to Sender, they asked for segments to be brought in from the outside world, which is when I started contributing. I started doing a home improvement type segment, and it quickly just devolved into me talking about
Electric Gary, which you don't go by anymore.
Sure I do.
Oh my God, last time we did this, you said you don't, so I stopped calling you that on our... Make up your mind.
It's off and on. Anyway, like alternating current, by the way. 60
times a second, come on.
In this country.
Edison, get over it.
Well...
No, I like Tesla better. Edison was a dick.
Edison was DC. Tesla was actually AC.
Yes, you're right.
So, point being that in having these contributions from the outside world for segments, Dr. Mike and Joleen each individually started submitting their own. And he lived in the Bay Area. She lived in Southern California. He's a doctor of general practitioner, I believe. And
she got herself a doctor.
She got herself a doctor. Exactly. Well, she herself is a medical professional as well.
Oh, nice.
She was, at the time, studying Chinese medicine and acupuncture. Ooh. And so they teamed up and became the East-West medical segment. So they would talk about the Western medicine versus Eastern medicine approach to this that, and make it fun and entertaining and cool. So they always seem to have a little bit of chemistry, and in, my mind, I'm like, oh, two of them are getting together. Well, Mike had been married about the same length as Mrs. E and I, or about from about the same date. Well, they had 2 kids. They had a different life. They moved on. Well, they eventually got divorced.
Come on, man.
This happens, 50% of couples. And since there are 2 people in a couple, 50% of people, one person's going to get divorced. And they were no longer, but somehow Mike and Joleen became a couple. And
there you go.
Well, long story longer, they got married a couple weekends ago, and Mrs. Z and I were invited. And of course, in any normal life, we would have, we can't do that. Why, send them a card, blah. But
come on, it's L.A.
It's L.A. and there's shit to do, and we're like, fuck yeah, let's go.
And you've never actually probably physically seen them, which is kind of a trip.
I did meet Mike. He came up. He brought his son up to OSU to see if they wanted to go to school here. So we went out for a beer. It was really cool. I was like, okay, so that was actually kind of a nice primer to be, we can hang out with these people. Yeah. We should go.
That's cool.
So we bought tickets and made the plan and everything, and we were so insanely fucking busy, like I said, in the middle of the show and everything else, and Mrs. E is teaching x-ray and has tests and blah, blah. I mean, like, no time for any of this shit, but let's go do this because we're gonna. And we're so glad we did. We had a great time.
What did you do? What did you see? Because, I mean, I grew up in San Diego, like 2 hours from LA, so we were up there quite frequently.
Wow. Much like your New York trip, it felt like we did a shit ton. So first night we get there, the rental car dude, it was a super ghetto, sketchy rental car place, and this guy's renting us a car.
Like Steve's Cars with a Z?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm Steve, put my white suit, put the white suit on. Yeah. Welcome to Fred's Bank. So he's strong arming us big time on the insurance. Like, anything that happens, it's your fault. Like, well, no, we've got insurance. Oh, I don't know. You don't want. Like, fine.
They try that shit all the time, though. I'm like, listen, I'm insured up the b-hole. Just give me the fucking keys.
Fell for that years ago and paid $428 to rent a Sentra. So
come on,
not fucking doing that shit.
You're a car dude. You should know better than that.
I know now. Yeah. that was the early days. So we get we get another Nissan Sentra, oddly enough, but it was a nice fancy new one, and we're heading to Long Beach,
okay,
which is where the wedding is, where we're staying at the old Super 8 there in Long Beach, and we're cruising down the freeway, 405, whatever it is, and like I see Long Beach exit, so I start heading toward Long Beach. I say, not that one. So I yank the wheel over, and I'm like, get back in the lane, curb, fuck, I mean, like,
curb.
There was a fucking curb on the side of the freeway at the exit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're talking about.
Right underneath the overpass or whatever.
Yeah.
And like just jerked the wheel just enough to miss the curb and not blow a tire and fuck up the whole front end of this car we were not insured for. And like almost hit a Mini Cooper but cool. I mean, of course, Mrs. E's like sheet white and
she shat.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
And so we make it to the hotel. Everything's fine. We're good. Everything's good.
You probably could have made it through that exit. You probably could have taken that exit.
And it was the same town, so technically, theoretically. So, but hey, I got cat-like reflexes. Feeling good about it. So next day we
curb-like reflexes.
We didn't work Thursday. We did make a full day of it though. We went and floated at the Float On, which we've talked about before, at the float tank place in Portland before leaving, and went to IKEA and had lunch and everything else. And we do this a fair amount of time, but we very rarely get on a plane and go to LA after doing those items. So it was kind of a trippy day that way.
Yeah, it's like, we'll go get some groceries and maybe we'll work out and hop on a plane.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we get there and we're like, you know what we can't get at home, which is actually pretty good. We had it one time in New Mexico. Is let's get some Chick-fil-A. I know they're anti-gay or whatever, but like, fuck it. They're just religious people. So let's get some Chick-fil-A. So we pull into this place and it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we get out there and this guy is like standing in the drive-thru there to help you. I'm like, okay, that's unusual. Well, it was their first day being open, and they had been like bought out of everything, but we got a little bit of food and went to the hotel, did our thing, and then next day we're like, we got all day. Wedding Saturday, we're leaving Sunday, so we got Friday to go play. What are we gonna do?
Nice.
And we didn't have a plan. Like
that's the best.
Exactly.
That's the best. Because there's no like, we didn't get to that because you didn't write it down the first place.
No expectation.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm. So we thought, let's go to Catalina Island. That'd be cool.
I have been to Catalina twice. Nice. I have been twice.
26 miles.
I got seasick.
So near, not far. See, it's probably a good thing because I do get seasick.
It's very rough.
Well, it didn't work out because you have to have reservations and it's a thing. And we went to the port and thought we could just go hop on a boat. And it can't work. So we're like, okay, pull over, find a place, look on the phones, figure out, let's go to Santa Monica Pier.
Don't need reservations for that.
No. And there was plenty of parking, and it was a delightful day, and there was street performers and whatnot on the thing, and it was really actually super cool.
Right on.
And the pier has like all kinds of history to it, and it's the end of Route 66.
Yes, it is.
And and by the way,
or the beginning, depending
on
where you live.
how you look at it.
Yes.
Well, so Sandra, being the genesis of this relationship, we wanted her to be a part of the trip. And actually, I had floated the idea to her, and of course she wouldn't accept. I would have sponsored at least a couple $100 for her to make the trip down. And she's got kids and life, and things are busy, and blah 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 blah. So not a chance she was going to make it. But
that's a long way.
Yeah, and I'm sure not cheap. So we. There was a picture that she posted of herself on Facebook. Now, Sandra, if you know her, does not post pictures of herself.
Yeah, I have never.
Nobody knows what Sandra looks like.
She's on my Facebook page.
Right.
And I have never seen.
Nobody.
I've seen a lot of dimes.
Nobody's seen her.
But I've never seen her face.
And the dimes are their own magic.
Yes.
So I've never seen her face. And I feel pretty intimately knowledgeable of her life and her of mine, and love her for it. So she had posted a picture of herself years ago in what I called an ice burqa. In the middle of a Canadian winter, she took a selfie with the toque and the muffler around the face, and she had ice in her eyelashes and stuff.
Wow.
So I actually had to ask her because I couldn't find it again. I really wanted to make it a surprise, but I asked her to send me that picture.
Yeah.
We printed it, cut it out, put it on a popsicle stick, and took it with us everywhere we went.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we took like 70 pictures of Sandra in different places.
Oh, that's funny. That's a great idea.
It came out really cool.
I'm going to steal that idea.
We took her to the wedding. People passed her around at the wedding. Got a picture of her in front of the Route 66 sign, in front of the roller coaster at the pier.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. And then when we got home, Mrs. E took and printed all of those, and we sent them to Sandra in a little envelope or an album. So,
neat.
Yeah. Tons of fun. And and so we go, but the cool thing is, so at the wedding, right? Mm-hmm. Nice place. Ooh. I mean, it was at a Japanese garden on the
open bar,
Long Beach, effectively. Well, it was a morning wedding, which was weird, and I think it was basically scheduling. I think they kicked us all out at 2:00, and they were moving in the evening wedding. So it was like one of those. Wedding factory.
Bang Zoom.
But at the campus of UC Long Beach.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't remember.
And there's this beautiful Japanese garden with a water feature in the middle and all these ducks and big koi pond and everything. And they had chairs set up all around it, and they actually performed the ceremony on the bridge over the water.
Nice.
And it was class.
Did you weep? Did you have one singular tear
I
like
had
the
one.
Native American from the trash commercials?
Yeah, that very one. For the same reason. And then they had a little walk around thing. They had mimosas and all that, and then they served a brunch.
You had me at mimosa.
Served a brunch, and they had us all the little individual tables. Well, we're out front of the venue and see our table reservation. Whose names are whose and everything like that. And I see table 7 us, a couple of people, obviously just oddball names, and Mike Schmidt. Now, there's a big time podcaster, but not known to everyone out there.
He's a Canadian dude?
No, he's actually in Southern California.
Oh, okay.
He does a podcast called The 40-Year-Old Boy. Mm-hmm. He's a spin-off of Comedy Bang Bang. Or no, I'm sorry, Never Not Funny.
Don't know that one.
Okay, same. You ever heard of Jimmy Pardo?
No.
Okay, all pretty big names in comedy.
I clearly have.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Jesus.
At any rate, Mike Schmidt is the 40-year-old boy
at
our table.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
And
so we need to follow his shit on Twitter then.
Yeah, definitely.
So you need to tell me that because I need to hop on that shit.
Yeah. And I became Facebook friends with him afterward. I've been listening to his show. He told the whole story of the wedding on the latest episode and was using our names and
shut your face. Okay, so wait. So is he still with the 40-year-old? That's his 40-year-old boy.
He is the 40-year-old boy.
Okay, so I'll follow that when I get home. I'll put that on my phone.
As well as the listeners should too. Interesting dude. And tangent. Listening to his show today, he was giving a shout out to a actual sponsor of his show, another podcast called Paranoid Strain.
Don't know that one either. I got to get on that too.
Oh my God. I had no idea what to expect. It was like, it's supposed to be like conspiracy theories or whatever. And
fuck off. I love that
it is my new favorite show. Fucking amazing.
Okay, I have to stand up because my beehole is going to sleep, but continue.
Do that. He's only got 4 episodes, so it's fairly new. I don't know who this guy is, but it is super professionally produced, very interesting, very funny. But it's about conspiracy theorists, not so much theories. So he himself is not a theorist. He's somebody who explains why these people think the batshit weirdness they do.
I like it.
And goes into all of these different things. He did a whole episode on the Sons of Zion something. It's a document that like Hitler followed, and everybody since that's a weirdo conspiracy theorist guy was like pretty much saying how in 1865 a bunch of Jews in a cemetery in Belgium had a secret meeting on how they're going to rule the world and all. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that leads to like the Illuminati.
Exactly. Yeah. And his research is fantastic. He has some very highly credible interviews, and his recording style is. I mean, this is legit fucking shit. Oh my god. So,
okay, yeah. So I need to get on that. Like
fact,
when we're done recording.
Yeah.
And we're watching Dark Tower tonight, by the way. When we're done, I'll get on my phone
and Lauren, I know you're listening. You need to listen to that too. I mean, anybody who enjoys podcasts at all, and whether or not you have a bent toward conspiracies or true crime or any of that stuff.
I do. I love that shit.
If you do, you're gonna fucking cream on this stuff. But it just really, really well done. I am super impressed. But anyway, going back to Mike, here we get to meet his girlfriend. Her name's Randy. She used to work at K-Rock back in the day.
I remember K-Rock.
Yeah. So she's got great stories, and she now works as a...
Wait a minute. What's her last name?
Something with an L.
Okay, never mind.
She wasn't an on-air talent at the time, but
okay, we're good.
Yeah. You can probably Facebook friend her too. She's very nice. Randy Lavick.
Okay.
And but it was like super interesting, folks. And now to hear him, and I was working at a customer's garage yesterday wiring some shit, and I'm listening to this episode, and he plainly uses my name, Mrs. E's name. He took her by the arm to the buffet table and was just a super gentleman.
Oh my god!
I'm like, and just to talk about what his day was. I mean, his show is a very stream of consciousness, but this dude just talks into a microphone by himself. Mm-hmm. And he's had producers in the past, and his show's a little different now, but he's got a big following and a big community, and he gets in touch with his fans and spends time with them and things like that. And it was his fans that Mike and Joleen knew him either before Return to Sender or got involved with him after listening to Return to Sender. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I was so mind fucked by the entire thing that talking into microphone. I mean, who the fuck are we? Any of us?
Oh no, we're nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, we truly are nothing.
We're navel lint, and these people.
We have like one or two people who go, "You guys fucking rock," and then no one knows who the fuck we are.
But the people that had these shows are in the pantheon of reality.
Right.
Very
we would
slightly.
go to like a podcast convention and people would fucking know them. We would go and not even get a room at the Hotel 6.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't let us in. But and yet, podcasting in general is such an obscure thing, and. So
not as much anymore, though.
It's becoming less and less.
It's crazy. When I go on the Twitter, it's wall to wall,
right.
To be honest.
Well, and it ought to be, because it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So
because you can swear.
There's, and the guy does. He's the Fearful Jesuit is the name of the guy that does the show of the Paranoid Strain.
Nice.
So fucking good. And so this whole thing, this ability to have these machines and all the shit that's manufactured in Japan and China and wherever else, and that we. Normal dumbass people talk into them. We put them out there and all these electrons and microphones and all blah, 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 and the voices happen. And now there are people who are married. I don't know if they're going to have kids or not, but they might. There may be lives that are created because
of podcasting.
We were in that. We went to Southern California. We had seafood enchiladas on the end of the pier and talked to and got a signed CD from a guy who was playing viola on the end of the pier. And doing like cover songs and things. Had a great album. We listened to it a bunch of times in the car. Then we gave it to our neighbor Tammy. We had him sign it to Tammy as a gift for watching Josie while we were gone. All of these things that would never have happened if the crazy randomness of the universe hadn't brought these people's voices into my ears, and now our voice is going out into others' ears.
You know who's responsible?
Yeah,
Al Gore.
That's right.
He found the internet. He found it one day.
If it was under a rock.
He found the internet.
He was hiking out in the woods in the Calabasas
when he was like
Forest.
protecting the environment. He found the internet.
That's right.
And that led to your friend's wedding.
Mm-hmm. It's just like Stranger Things.
3 beers, anyone?
So yeah, pretty amazing. Happy about that. Let's call it a day.
Yeah.
I'm Gary.
I'm Dory. Just Dory.
And you have been lounged.
Sounds good.